Many of us are trying to get an education, to be able to have a job that maybe we've dreamed about our whole life. Or maybe we have a job right now that we really like. Now, for a lot of people, that is under attack by this growing technology that we call AI, or artificial intelligence. Now, what is artificial intelligence? Well, to give you a basic understanding of what it is, I'll first give you some examples. So, if you've ever talked with someone or heard someone talk about self-driving cars, that is an example of the progression of artificial intelligence. Or if you've ever used Siri on an iPhone, that is artificial intelligence. Or an Alexa, where you can ask it to play a song and it'll play it for you, or tell you what the weather is and it tells you. Um, these are all very awesome and growing examples of what artificial intelligence is. But what does AI mean for us and our jobs? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to give you some ideas as things that you can do so that you can adapt in this growing environment that is heavily influenced by AI. So, John Fremont, who is the founder and chief strategy officer at Hypergiant, says, "There's no one thing that defines AI. It's more like a tapestry of modern intelligent technologies knit together in a strategic fashion that can help uplift and create a knowledge base that is automated, where you can extrapolate findings from there." So, AI is a growing field, and it's using technology in all different kinds of ways. Um, it's no doubt already impacted things like the manufacturing job market, or data analysts for the economy or the market, because AI can do very complex mathematical problems. It can analyze a lot of things at once and produce results very fast. And it's reusable, and it doesn't require a paycheck like we often do, right? And so a lot of companies are trying to grow with AI. There's a quote from Paul Darty, Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at Accenture, and he talks about this. He says, "The playing field is poised to become a lot more competitive, and businesses that don't deploy AI and data to help them innovate in everything they do will be at a disadvantage." And so every field of work that that we know of, every business is trying to incorporate AI because it saves them money and it gets results fast. And from what we've seen, it seems to be doing a pretty good job. And so, for the businesses who aren't doing that, they're at a disadvantage. And so it's something that we want to keep in mind as people who want to enter into the job market or are currently in the job market, how we can keep up with this growing technology so that we don't find ourselves jobless, right? And so, to give you an example, Dr. Kai-Fu Lee, Chairman and CEO of Synovation Ventures, gives this quote where he talks about kind of the expansion of AI and kind of what it means for us. He says, "I think AI is coming about and replacing routine jobs, and it pushes us to do what we should be doing anyway, the creation of more humanistic service jobs." And so he recommends that this growing force of AI should push us to create newer jobs and other jobs in other areas. And so for the people out there who are stressing about AI and think that it's just going to make things worse, he recommends that we look at the side of how it's going to create a lot more jobs and how that's an upside, right? More humanistic jobs, which us as humans, right, we'd think we'd be better at those than an AI computer system would be. So let me give you an example of a technology that's been developed that's affected the medical field, a pretty prominent field. A lot of people want to be nurses or doctors, right? This is called the Da Vinci surgical system. You can learn about it at davincisurgery.com. And this is actually an excerpt from that website. It says, the Da Vinci surgical system helps enable your surgeon to perform minimally invasive surgery with an advanced set of instruments and a 3D high-definition view of the surgical area. Minimally invasive surgery with Da Vinci is widely used in urology and gynecology procedures and in several other procedures too. So we can see that even as it talks about in this quote, that AI, at least right now, isn't looking to completely replace even something like a surgeon, um, but it suggests that it is a tool that can be used by surgeons, right? And so let's say, one of you in the audience is wanting to go into the medical field. It would be important for you to understand technologies in AI that are coming up and that are progressing, because they're going to be tools that odds are you're going to need to know how to work with. Which brings me to my next point, which is, here are 3 things that I'm going to suggest that we can do in order to stay safe, and in order to be able to adapt to this growing force of AI. The first thing is understand current technologies and its terminology, the vocabulary, right? So that whether you become a surgeon or whether you become a lawyer or something like that, as AI enters into these fields, you kind of understand a little bit about how it works, about how technology, works, and how you can kind of know how to interact with it a little bit. And so those understanding a little bit about how technology is constructed will definitely give you a leg up no matter what job you're trying to get into. Number 2 would be becoming aware of AI and where it stands in most major job fields. So we'll take the medical field as an example. If you are training and to become a surgeon, and you understand these technologies and what it means, right? Let's say you get your job as a surgeon, and you already know about this, surgical AI device, and you know how to use it and when to use it. And maybe, with your understanding of technology, you even know how to, manipulate its settings and to get it to do what you want. And you can use it to your benefit. And so AI doesn't have to be, super threatening all the time. It can be helpful for us. And the third and last thing is to become good at some other skills, like in the technology, department of, if you want to grow with AI, or to become good at things like painting or dancing or, sports and things like that. And so those things can definitely be a benefit for us, and it can help us adapt. We don't have to be afraid of the growing AI technology. Hopefully we can use it so that it is our friend and not our enemy.